All right, here we go for checking your work for the try it section. The first problem we had was 6,421 minus 315. Okay, the first thing you should have done, and the first thing you should have noticed when I did this, was that I have all of my columns neatly lined up. So I've got the ones column, the tens column, the hundreds column. In the thousands column, there's just that 6 there because there's nothing underneath it. You could put a 0 there to hold the place or just leave it blank like I've done. Okay, as soon as that's done, we're ready to push as far as we can to the right and begin subtracting here. We're going to be in the ones place, right? That's the farthest to the right. So I've got 1 minus 5. Sometimes it helps if we think of this like apples. If I have 1 apple, can I eat 5? Well, we can't because we don't have enough. So we're going to have to go to the neighbor and we're going to borrow, which is a regrouping, because this right here right now is 2 groups of 10. We're going to take one of the groups away. So if I took one of the groups away, I would have 1 left, and I'm going to just drop it off over here. Now, sometimes people make a mistake because they see a 1 and a 1 and they think, oh, there's 2 there. But remember, that 1 that we dropped off was not a 1. It was one group of 10, so it's worth 10. So now I've got 10 and 1, which is 11. So this is the same thing as 11 minus 5, which is 6. Then I go to the next column. I have that 1, which is my new number after I regrouped. I have 1 minus 1, which is 0. 4 minus 3, if I have 4 apples, can I eat 3? Yes, I can, and then I'd have 1 left. Then I have 6 minus 0, which is 6. Then I'm going to go through and add my comma. 1, 2, 3, kick. So there it is. So if you did this one correctly, your answer should be 6,106. Okay, I'm going to erase it, and we're going to move on to the next one. All right, the second problem in our try it section was 4,387 minus 639. So just like last time and just like every time, we will always push our number as far as we can to the right and get all of our columns lined up. So right here, we've got the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands. Okay, starting in the ones column, we've got 7 minus 9. If I have 7 apples, can I eat 9? I cannot. So I'm going to go next door and I'm going to regroup. I'm going to take 1 away and I'm going to drop off that group of 10 that I just borrowed. Okay, now I've got 17 minus 9, which is 8. Now I've got 7 minus 3. If I have 7 apples, can I eat 3? I can, and I would have 4 left. Okay, the next column of 3 minus 6. If I have 3 apples, can I eat 6? I cannot. So that means I go to the neighbor and I'm going to regroup. So I'm going to take one grouping off and drop it off here. Okay, so now I've got 13 minus 6, and I can easily do that, and I get 7. And then I've got 3 minus 0, which is 3. So I'm going to go through and add my commas. Remember, to add a comma, we start all the way on the right side. We move 3 places and add our comma. So our answer to number 2 is 3,748. All right, our last one in the try it section is similar to what we've been doing, but we're going to see a little bit of a difference whenever we try to borrow from a 0. So our problem looks like this. We start off with 10,803 minus 5,607. All right, so we lined it up just like we always have, nice straight columns, ones in the ones column, tens, hundreds, thousands, and so forth. Okay, so we start all the way to the right, which is the ones column. We've got 3 minus 7. If I have 3 apples, can I eat 7? I cannot. So I go to the neighbor to borrow. So here's where that problem is. I have nothing that I can take from that one. There's no regrouping that can happen when there's 0. So what I'm going to do is move to the next column. Okay, and I have an 8 there, and I'm going to view those numbers together like an 80. So if I cross those both off, and I take just one grouping away, I would wind up with 79, because 80 minus 1 is 79. Then I'm still just going to drop it off like I have before. Now I've got 13 minus 7, which is 6. 9 minus 0, which is 9. 7 minus 6, which is 1. 0 minus 5, we've got a problem there again, right? So I'm going to go to the neighbor, regroup, drop them off. So now I've got 10 minus 5, which is 5. 1, 2, 3, kick. And we see that my answer to this problem is 5,196.